Hi, I'm Nathan Fox. I'm chair of the MFA Visual Narrative Program at the School of Visual Arts, as well as co-creator and artist on the Weatherman series through Image Comics. And you are watching The Experience.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Fat Jack's Comicrypt. We're hanging out here in Philadelphia.
Emiliano.
What's up, Bags? What's up, fellas?
Jen King.
Hello, Jen. How you doing?
You can skip Jason. I want to say hi to you.
Yeah. Hello to everybody. Like I said, this is Fat Jack's Comicrypt. That's Al and Brendan. I haven't been to sleep in over 36 hours, so I don't know. Bear with me.
Yeah, you don't have a choice, people.
Yeah. Who knows, man? Sometimes I can get even crazier with no sleep. But we have books to sell tonight, so I guess this is the way it works. If anyone's joining us maybe for the first time, this is obviously, I think there's a term. I think sometimes it's called claim sale shows or claim shows, whatever. But we're here to sell books, and at the same time, Al and I try to keep ourselves entertained by sometimes talking about, random stuff. Nonsense that other people are like, please stop. With that said, the way that claiming any books works on this show is hit us in the chat. Please be as specific as possible, especially when we have a few different issues from the same title. So just saying Incredible Hulk, when we have a few Incredible Hulks up there, we're gonna need to know the issue number or something that's on the cover.
There's also, maybe not necessarily the case today, but on occasion there's a lag on this end. So if we do have multiple titles, it's just, we need you to be as specific as possible.
Yeah, and
it's a lot easier for the process.
And in all fairness, because the experience also is really good at time stamping all of the chat stuff.
Yes.
So if there's any confusion, so that's why we will need, if we need to go back and look to see who got it first, the more specific you were, the higher the chance that you get the book that you want.
Better for you.
So you claim the books in the chat. Let me think. If you were in the Philadelphia area and you're close to our shop here, any books you claim tonight, you can pick them up here. If you are closer to our Oakland, New Jersey shop, we will obviously ship them over there for you to pick them up. If you are outside of the area and you have shopped with us before, hopefully we still have your contact and your shipping information. We will get in touch with you. Al runs all of that and does a wonderful job. If you are claiming books for the first time tonight and you are outside of the area, we're going to need to get your contact and shipping information. And so the best way to do that is either during the show or right after. Please email us at fjccshow@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure it's probably down in that Chiron there. Al will handle that. Shipping is, it starts for the first item, it's $7. And then any additional item, the price obviously goes up from there, but we will do our best to mitigate the shipping costs as much as possible, because as I said, we're not here to make money off of the shipping. The shipping is really just to make sure that you get your books that you ordered and purchased this evening for as cheap as possible. And also with the hope that it doesn't just disappear in the post office like a few books.
Yeah, no, shipping costs are pretty much at cost. So I mean, and with your invoice, you see your shipping costs. So it's not nobody's gouging.
No. It's not like those eBay sales. I know I've said this before, where you buy a book for $3 and you're like, wow, man, what a great deal, and then you find out the shipping's $50.
If anything, I feel like I should be charging more for the shipping just for the time that's spent on it. But
yeah.
Mr. Lime.
Oh, Gary's back. Word man, what's up, buddy?
Man, this really is.
Man, is this our week?
Everybody's showing up.
Yo, does everyone know something that we don't?
That's weird.
Has the bell tolled?
Oh shit, John Fox.
No. Oh man, that would be wild. You imagine that.
What's up, Ben?
That I would quit. I'd be like, all right, enough of this. Yeah. Anyway, tonight, all right. So we talked about the claiming. We talked.
What's up, Marshall?
Is Marshall there?
Marshall's here too.
Nice. Also, yes. Thank you, Kyle or Jerry, whoever popped that up there. Anyone who isn't already, and you want to follow us on Instagram. That is probably our most up-to-date and active social media for the Fat Jacks brand.
That's probably the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your best bet.
And that's at the FJC Paradox. Whenever we have big books, especially if they don't show up like at the last minute, I'll probably post up stuff like that. If I ever get good at the whole social media thing, maybe we'll do more promotion and advertising, or I don't know, maybe do some
sales on there.
Do some sales on there, like we were gonna
or maybe a show.
Or maybe a show. Who knows? We'll see.
Real quick, sorry. Shout out to Mr. Rail and Mr. Bishop and to Zanin.
All right, Zanin, what's up, buddy?
Zanin is in the chat.
Zanin is
not for much longer, from what I hear.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's wonderful to see, man. Some old heads are coming out of the woodwork. We really appreciate that.
Mr. Barucci, what it is? I thought you were going to dinner. What happened?
He wants to make sure he gets this Art Adams Creature of the Black Lagoon adaptation. I mean, that's a beautiful book there. He does all the interiors and everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was a favorite of mine when I was younger. That's really nice. Yeah, it was like a 90s book. Anyway, so for anyone who watches on our local show, we obviously sold some pretty big keys there, so I'm so sorry. But we're going to get through a bunch of different titles. We have a bunch of bundles. A bunch of them are deal with supernatural, Halloween, horror. We're still in October, so I figure why not? But we also have a bunch more bundles. We got a bunch of books we'll get to or we won't get to. And I'm hoping at some point Al will keep me abreast. I want to do $2 books again. It's mostly a lot of like Bronze Age Marvel. We've done it before on the show before, and we just haven't had the time in the past few weeks. So I wouldn't mind kind of slipping back into that and just showing off some fun books for $2. You get some deals. Most of them are graded and priced somewhere between like $4 to $10, and we're gonna sell it for $2. Okay. So I think that's all the business at this point.
I got a whole list for you.
Oh, we are
ready. Yeah.
All right, well, let's prioritize. So let's go.
Well, so Mr. Jet is going to take, if you have a Spider-Man 14, he's snatching it.
All right, so hold on. Let me just make sure. It is a 14. It is a 14. Okay, but Mr. Jet, let's just talk because this isn't a high grade. This is actually, it's fine condition at $2, primarily because there's a lot of stress along the spine. Okay? I'm trying to think, is there any... And there's like this weird sort of like crease right there. So again, this book at a high grade is maybe only like $4 or $5. So it's not like that big of a huge difference. But in all fairness, I just wanted you to know we graded this at a fine and it's only $2. So I'm still going to pass it to Al. But if you change your mind, just let us know.
No problem.
All right.
And Mr. Rayo's interested in the 2001.
Okay.
And Marshall's interested in the Creature book when you get a chance.
Okay, all right. So let's do it with the 2001.
You got Mr. Jet. Mr. Jet's going to take it.
All right, Mr. Jet. Always good talking to you, bud. All right, so the 2001 Space Odyssey series. In some of our earlier shows, we had almost a complete run, but we were missing 2 issues, and those were the 2 big keys. Issue 1 and Issue 8. Issue 8 is obviously the first appearance of Machine Man. So this is, for anyone who's not aware, Jack Kirby wrote and illustrated a series based off of a 2001 A Space Odyssey. Primarily speaking, each issue is a self-contained story where the black monolith from the beginning of A Space Odyssey enters certain periods of human history and sort of awakens a consciousness, some cosmic consciousness in a certain character, and all of the trials and tribulations and moral and ethical dilemmas that occur when you become a little bit more evolved than your peers. Now, the other really cool thing about this, well, it's not a cool thing in the sense of for people who just want to get their hands on it, this has never been reprinted. So the only way to read this series is buy them in single issues. We were fortunate enough to get a couple copies And these are two of those copies here. So let me just show them off real fast. This is 2001: A Space Odyssey by Jack Kirby. This is issue number 2. This is a fine copy at $6. All right. And then we have issue number 3 with Madrak the Merciless. This is a fine copy at $6. Now, if anyone's starting to get excited for the Eternals, 2001, and the way that Kirby kind of wrote it, you could argue that Kirby had this sort of I am wrestling with my own mortality as an older, aging man in the twilight of my career trilogy, and that is the Fourth World, the Eternals, and then 2001. All of Kirby's sort of concepts of human nature, human consciousness, the cosmic idea of gods, and so I mean, again, celestials are just space gods, space daddies. So he would pick up a lot of these themes and then keep transporting them to the next series and the next series, and obviously he would always get canceled because most people couldn't fully understand what he was doing because he was so far ahead of his time. So with that said, we also have 3 issues from Kirby's Eternals run. Regrettably, all of the big keys we've had, we sold them a long time ago, much to my chagrin at this moment, because I'm pretty sure we sold a few Eternals number 1 for like $60, $100, and now you could easily sell a high grade or a mid-high grade for somewhere between $300 to $500. So talk about leaving some money on the table. But for anyone who's interested in some more affordable Eternals issues, this is Eternals number 4. The glare's a little weirder than the last time. Anyway, no big deal. Eternals number 4. This is a very fine copy or very fine plus copy at $20. And then we have issue number 6, also a very fine plus copy, close to a very fine near mint. These are like low high grades kind of a thing. This is Eternals number 6. This is an 18 book. And then we have Eternals number 8. That is a very fine plus at $14. All right, so there's our little Kirby row. All right. Now, Marshall was curious about, yes.
Yeah, can I get the 2001?
Yes, both. Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
Cool. And yeah, Marshall was curious about the Creature book. And to Mr. Moran, I can't interact in the chat, but we'll get to the Spider-Man as soon as we talk about the Creature.
Okay, yeah. So please let us know in the chat what you guys want to talk about, and we will prioritize and go down the line. So we'll get to the Spider-Mans in one moment. Let's quickly show off this Creature from the Black Lagoon adaptation based off of the original screenplay, fully illustrated by one of the greatest comic book artists of all time, Arthur Adams, somebody whose work I wish was a lot more prolific. But one of the great things about this one-shot is he doesn't just do the cover, but he does all of the interior pages. And if you know and you're familiar with Arthur Adams' artwork and you already know how amazing his work is, this is one of his best pieces. Like, this is like Bernie Wrightson doing Frankenstein, you know? He just hits it out of the park, man. It's insanely colorful, and then it gets weirdly gory, and it's just, I don't know. I have a real soft spot for this original film, Creature of the Black Lagoon. I think I caught it like at my grandfather's house when I was like 5 or 6, like one Sunday afternoon, and it kind of like weirdly freaked me out. But I always remember one of the most beautiful shots I have ever seen in a film, bar none, is the shot of the woman swimming, and she's sort of at the surface, but the creature is at the very bottom of the frame, swimming parallel to her, but he's like swimming upside down, so he's like facing her. It is.
You don't like notice it for a minute.
No, you don't.
And then you see him, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yes. Oh my God, it's just. Again, anyone who sits there and says they don't want to watch black and white films because they're old and black and white, you're missing out on some of the best work. It's art, man. It is honest to God art. Now this is a high grade copy at only $6, which I'm pretty sure is its cover price. I'm pretty sure it was a $5.95 book.
Can I get the,
yes.
Marshall's going to take that.
All right, Marshall.
To Mr. Moran, we don't have a number 1 of Spider-Man.
No.
It's like an homage cover to number 1. But
yeah, that's more of like our Halloween theme thing, because this is part of the so this is the homage. This is issue 13. This was that two-part story, Sub-City, where Spider-Man gets dressed up in the black costume again. So he goes down into the sewers to hunt down Morbius or something, who I think is like leading like a homeless army or some wild stuff. So this is, I'm sorry, this is not number one. We do not have a Spider-Man number one. This is the 13th issue of the Todd McFarlane written, illustrated Spider-Man series, The Legend of the Black Knight. Todd was always such a clever man. Now, this is a very fine copy at only $3.
You don't have another one of these things.
I do not now.
We do not, Mr. Lime. I'll check Jersey, see if we got one there for you.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though.
No, I was doing what I've been doing and just finding really some fun stuff,
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we want to talk about some more of these Spider-Man, or was it really just about?
Mr. Moran's going to take that Spider-Man.
Okay, the number 13?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moran.
Mr. Moran, if you could just email your contact info to fjccshow@gmail. I don't believe you purchased with us in the past, but if you have, I apologize.
But again, just in case we don't know how easy, let us know in the chat. Can people hear Al?
Can everybody hear what I'm saying, too? Sorry.
Yeah, because if not, I will repeat what he says. Just so.
And I mean, Mr. Hunter's in the chat. If you want to keep going through with the Spider-Man, he did express interest, but do your thing. He's not a.
Was there something else that came up that people? No. Okay.
I think you're good.
Okay. All right. So really quick, before we get into more of these Todd McFarlane Spider-Man.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yes.
That was my fault. Mr. Hunter actually got the Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I didn't see the time on there. So, Mr. Hunter, you got it. Mr. Moran, I apologize.
We're very sorry, but again, this is why we do the timestamps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my mistake.
All right.
Take it away, Chief.
All right. So on the local show, I was talking about how. So again, this is Todd McFarlane. Obviously, I imagine all of you know who that is. But a variant of a really good series, Philadelphia. Okay. Which is vampires in Philadelphia and all that kind of stuff. But it is a series that is exceptional. It's well done. It's absolutely at some point going to get an option for like a TV show or a movie or something. But more importantly, it's a very low print run series. So almost every issue is a low print run. Well, with issue number 12, we got a variant illustrated by Todd McFarlane. Sorry about that glare. The monitor. Maybe I should drop the monitor. During our break, remind me to adjust the monitor. Yeah. Because it's kind of egregious. Anyway, this is Philadelphia number 12. This was the Todd McFarlane variant. Okay. Now, Todd McFarlane, as I was saying on the local show before, doesn't do too much outside of like his own creator-owned work, like the Spawn stuff and anything like that. So it is very rare when you end up with McFarlane variant connected to a book that he has really no connection to, and this is one of those. Also, added the fact it's a low print run, adding the fact that Todd McFarlane is a very popular artist with a long list of fans and all that kind of stuff who love to kind of search down anything that he has done or published, no matter if it's just a cover or what have you.
He used to do Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, he used to do Spider-Man. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
At some point.
But over the past week or two, I was kind of surprised because this book was selling on eBay and other different online sites, or I saw a few Instagram sales and stuff like that. This book was selling for around $30, $40. At one point, I saw somebody sold it for like $50. Now, our high-grade copy is the same price as the one we sold earlier, and that is $20. Because, again, I'm always fearful. I always want to sell these books, and I want to get fair value for Mike and the shop and everything like that. But I also am sometimes worried about how much the value is sort of like a temporary thing.
Was it graded, the one you saw that sold for $50 or no?
No. They were all raw, man.
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but just like in the blink of an eye, all of these copies of that were selling somewhere between $30 and $50.
That's crazy.
So if anyone's in the know and you want to grab one, we're only 20. Yes.
To Mr. Hunter and Mr. Moran, they worked out. So Mr. Moran got that book.
Okay.
Trading. And Mr. Hunter's going to claim Spider-Man number 2.
Okay, all right. So let's just go through this little list here real fast. So this is Spider-Man number 2, part of the 5-part Torment series that Todd McFarlane did, where Calypso, Kraven the Hunter's like old flame. It's sort of like a sequel to, oh my God, I'm totally Kraven's Last Hunt. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it actually one of the best images when I was a kid. I don't remember which issue it was. It might have been in issue 4 or 5, but it's where so Calypso drugs Spider-Man. So not only is he being hunted and attacked by an animalistic lizard, but he starts like hallucinating and losing his mind.
Like roaches,
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And at one point, Kraven starts haunting him, and there's this. The way McFarlane draws it's so gruesome because it's this huge like shotgun hole in his face. Ah, it's so cool. So anyway, this is issue 2 of that series. This is a very fine near mint minus. The minus, why did I do that? There was like one little thing, like it was like a little nick or something. I don't know, it's something that most people probably wouldn't even notice, but I don't know. I just trying to be as transparent and fair as possible. So this is a $5 book. Oh, you said
Mr. Hunter's going to take that one.
All right.
He's going to take number 5 as well.
Okay. One of my again, this was a personal favorite when I was a kid because Peter is really effed up. This is the final part of the Torment storyline. This is Spider-Man number 5. Again, this is another very fine near mint, and I put the minus. There must be just something where like, oh yeah, there's like a teeny bit of a stress mark on the spine there. Either way, I mean, it's still a gorgeous copy, but, you know, like I said, just trying to be transparent. This is also $5. And you said he did claim this? Okay. All right, so we'll send that one.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Always a pleasure, bud. All right, and so we'll finish off some of these Spider-Mans. This is issue 9. This is, I believe, part 2 of the Perceptions storyline, which was when Spider-Man and Wolverine team up to hunt down the new Wendigo. So there we go. This is Spider-Man number 9. Now this is a high grade, very fine near mint, no weird minuses here, which is why it is $6. And then we get number 10, where Wolverine goes back to his yellow costume, the original costume. Now this is again one of those very fine near mint minuses, primarily because little spine stress mark. So this one is only $5. But again, this is Spider-Man and Wolverine teaming up to go after the Wendigo.
Can I get number 9, please?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Moran.
All right. And then issue number 11, part 4 of the Perceptions storyline. It's still Spider-Man, it's still Wolverine, and it's still the Wendigo. I guess Todd McFarlane really likes drawing big hair and fluffy fur and, you know.
Capes and chains.
Capes and chains. Capes and chains, and that's good. I give Donny Cates some credit. He really hit it on
I enjoyed that.
the 90s vibe, yeah. So anyway, this is a very fine near mint copy. It's a high grade copy at only $5.
Can I get number 10 also?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
And last but not least, the final Todd McFarlane Spider-Man issue, where he teamed up with another artist who at the time was drawing X-Force. I don't really remember the guy's name, but I imagine it wasn't Todd McFarlane's idea to do a sideways comic book. But this two-issue crossover between Spider-Man and X-Force, this is the first part, Spider-Man number 16, and it is also the final Todd McFarlane Spider-Man issue. All right, so that is a high-grade copy at $5.
Can I get both of those Spider-Man?
Yes.
Thank you to Mr. Moran and Mr. Hunter.
All right.
Mr. Hunter, I feel like he just started another account and put a fake name on it so he can get all the Spider-Man.
Well, now I feel like I should pull out more of the Spider-Mans.
I mean, if you got more, you guys want more Spider-Man?
Yeah, screw it. I'll just, I'll pull out some more Spider-Mans just because
How many people are vibing on it?
we're talking Spider-Man. So, and again, this is so funny. Like, sometimes we kind of wing it. I don't mean wing it, but like, like books come in, you discover books, but there are times where I keep discovering more Spider-Man books pertaining to the Clone Saga. I don't think I've talked about the Clone Saga in like the past 20 years more than I have the past 2-3 weeks.
We also got a good amount of Spider-Man that we haven't had.
That we haven't had in a long while. Yes. So anyway, let's because we're just on the subject of Spider-Man, so let's do a couple Spider-Man books here. So in honor of October, in honor of the Halloween season, here we go. Inferno continues. This is Web of Spider-Man number 47. The Hobgoblin returns to torture and make Spider-Man's life a living hell. Now, this is a very fine copy at only $3. But just for the sake of information, if anyone's curious, issue 48, the issue that comes right after this one, is actually that's a little bit more of a key book. That's a book that has some real value to it because it's the first appearance of the Demo Goblin, which is the demon hobgoblin. Because obviously the Inferno caused the hobgoblin to become more of a monster. You know, so that's kind of fun.
Hobgoblin had the pumpkins, right? That was his thing.
Well, Green Goblin also had pumpkins.
Yeah, but Hobgoblin had them better.
But Hobgoblin had a lot of.
He had like I don't know. There's something about like they always showed him with like jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, Hobgoblin's a certain generation thing. I think our generation loved the Hobgoblin more than Green Goblin.
I remember him more. I don't know.
No, well, Green Goblin wasn't around as much in the 80s and early 90s when we were like kind of getting. Yeah. Hobgoblin was more of the main Goblin villain. This is just a fun little cover from the Peter David run of Spectacular Spider-Man. This is issue 115. Really, it was just an excuse to throw Doctor Strange up there. I don't know what he's doing to Spider-Man, but it's probably not kosher. But this is a very fine plus copy at only $4. Plus, you get a lot of Black Cat in this. And the issue right after this one with 116 is where Black Cat gets a new costume and all that kind of stuff. But this is the issue where for a brief period of time, she loses her bad luck powers. Yes.
Can I get the Web of Spider-Man?
Yes, absolutely.
And if there's a Venom up there.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, we'll step into the Venom real quick. All right. So I had a little.
I get this Spectacular too.
Oh yeah. Man, please.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, so I imagine the Venom you're probably thinking of is the Funeral Pyre. So let's talk about that one. But I did kind of like set it up where like you got Ghost Rider, then you got Ghost Rider and Punisher, and then you got Punisher as an angel, Bernie Wrightson. Then you got Venom and Punisher. Then you got Venom and the Hulk. Then you got Punisher and Deathlock, and then you just got Deathlock. But obviously you were asking about Venom, so let's talk about the two Venom books real fast. This is the first issue with it's the 90s, so there's your holofoil cover. But this is the Venom 2-issue limited series Funeral Pyre, where it's pretty much Venom teaming up with the Punisher. This is a high-grade copy at $8. And then a book that I don't know when I ever, like, I think this might have been a mail-away, like one of those weird mail-away comics that they were doing a bunch in the 90s. But this is the Incredible Hulk versus Venom, #1. Now, this is, again, the 90s. So you got this like holla foil whatever in the title and the lettering and stuff like that. But it's pretty much just an issue where Venom and Hulk fight a lot. This is a high grade copy at $8.
Mr. Moran's gonna take the Venom.
The Funeral Pyre?
The Funeral Pyre, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. All right.
We'll take the Hulk as well.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Kyle, is this about commercial time?
Is it break time?
It seems like it's a bit. I mean, 6:30.
Okay, let's Kyle, let's just do break, and I'll set up some more Spider-Mans and stuff.
Cool.
All right. Hi, I'm Travis, the King of Source Point, and you're watching The Experience.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
The Halloween, like the toys that are like the Halloween toys. I think I'll bring them out next week for. Yo, hey, what's up, everybody? We were just talking about what we were gonna do next week, because we're through this, right?
You know what? There's also a handful in the office that were never paid for.
Oh.
So those can all go back out.
Oh, so we should bring them out.
And those are like the premium ones too.
Oh, that is a really good point. All right, we're talking.
If
We're selling some toys.
If the Simpsons party is watching, some of your toys have sold. Not to put your business out there, but you got some credit.
Yeah.
If you ever make it back into Philly.
Yeah, we got our list over there, right? Yeah.
Oh, the Hulk Venom was a mail-in charity.
That's right. Okay, so I was right. Okay, because there was a couple others that they did that a bunch at the time.
Thank you, Mr. Kieran.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, all right. So we're back, and we got some more books up there. So let's get to them. So bear with me as I drag my tired butt. Okay, first off, if you're curious and you missed the 90s, boom. Secret Defenders number 12.
That's a badass cover.
It is really a cool cover. Yeah. This is an awesome. Oh, I totally forgot to do the display to adjust it during the break. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Mr. Kieran, the Hulk Venom did go. Yes.
Yes, it did go, Jason. Sorry, but. So here we go. This is just a fun. It's mostly just a great cover. Very quintessential '90s cover. Plus, is it Tom Grindberg? Oh, 1993 is when the Secret Defenders. This was also the issue right before where Thanos was still sort of like an anti-hero. And coming up in issue 13 of Secret Defenders, he takes the place of Doctor Strange as the leader of the Secret Defenders, which was kind of a strange book. But this cover is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's all that kind of hollow foil, sort of sparkly, gimmicky stuff. Just fun time. And again, it's a high grade copy, and it's only $4. Okay, so we talked about our Three Eternals. We talked about our Todd McFarlane Philadelphia variant. Let's talk about. Okay, so. Again, we talk about a lot of speculation on the show a lot because that kind of affects value and all that kind of stuff. But I'm always like surprised by certain books or certain characters that people on the internet are just beyond convinced that, I don't know, they heard a rumor or they know somebody who works for somebody. But this issue right here, and I've had this on the show a couple times before. This is Marvel Comics Presents 158. And now this is a high-grade copy at $8. This is by Alan Davis and Paul Neary. Or no, Alan Davis and Mark Farmer. My apology. But this is the first appearance of the Clandestine family, which is this like sort of secret British kind of like just they're like a weird royalty or something, but they have superpowers, and they've kept it a secret, except the two kids that are the younger generation, they want to, like, they love Spider-Man and stuff, so they want to be like real superheroes, so they become like a superhero team. Well, here's the thing. I can't confirm this. Like I said, it's a high grade at $8, but like there's a lot of chatter, and a lot of people are just like weirdly convinced that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in some form or another, is going to introduce these characters. I'm reiterating the fact that I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't heard or seen anything, but the book just keeps going up in value.
What do you think?
It sells for like $10-15 now. Yeah.
Can I get the Secret Defenders?
Oh yeah, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Mr. Moran, do me a favor. Just put the title and the issue number. It's a little easier that way. I'm pretty sure that you claimed this a minute ago, but it's for just this situation because now Mr. Kiernan wants it. So you guys work it out. What do you think is going to be the breaking point for the Marvel movies? What universe is going to be a flop for them?
Right now, man, I just can't.
You don't see anything like.
I just don't see. Yeah, because they have the formula. So I mean, some people are just going to get bored of it. But
I feel like the people that are like, I mean, I'm bored. I'm bored.
Yeah.
Like I'm not interested in it. But it's not like nothing's flopping. Like DC's had flops.
Yeah. You know what it is, and this is what makes it so weirdly unique. It's not comic fans. Like, yes, comic fans love this stuff, and it's like people like my sister.
Yeah.
Or like people who like I would never in a million years think would read a comic
for reading comics when we were kids.
Yes. And they love this stuff. Because again, one thing that I will always say, humanity, no matter when, in what time period or what have you, humanity loves serialized fiction. And let's be honest, all superheroes is soap operas with spandex and superpowers. And people love it. And I mean, I love it. And I mean, you don't have to love everything.
Yeah.
But
I've enjoyed some of the films. I don't see every single one of them.
No, right. Like my whole thing always, like the people who get mad that they keep making, it's like they're not forcing you to watch it.
Yeah,
who cares?
I treat it as two separate.
Yeah, like
the people that get mad at me in here because I haven't seen every single one.
Right. Like
but you work here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're not buying a comic.
Like I still haven't seen Black Widow or What If, and that's not a lack of interest, just a lack of time, and I forget, and then I end up rewatching RoboCop.
There's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Mr. Moran, it's no problem. I just, it's just easier on this end for
yeah, it's just no. Please, we're not busting your balls. It's just in case there's any kind of confusion. That's all. Because
Mr. Hunter said Eternals is gonna flop.
Okay.
It's funny he said that because I saw the trailer the other day and I was like, I don't know. It just doesn't. Doesn't grab me, but it's not. That's because it doesn't remind me of the comic.
I know. In a weird way, though, like I think I'm gonna love it, and it's gonna be that movie. It's gonna be Speed Racer or something where like I love it and I could talk. If you just listen to me talk about it, you'll start to think that you like it, and then you rewatch it again and go, "What the hell is that idiot talking about?" Because I don't know, man.
Like Monster Squad.
Oh, by the way, if you even have a passing interest and you're on the fence, go see Dune. All right. If anything else, I'm very selfish, and I needed to make more money because I need a part 2 so badly.
Going into last night, I didn't even know Dune had been released.
Oh, really?
And now I feel like that's all I've heard about.
It's true. And if you're gonna go see it, and you're willing to venture to a theater, definitely see it in IMAX. Oh, it is. It's a spectacle, man. It's just beautiful, and oh my god, that soundtrack. Oh, gorgeous. Anyway,
that'd be cool if he did Eternals. What's the guy's name?
Villanueva. But again, Chloe Zhao is an amazing filmmaker.
I don't know who Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao, she literally just won an Oscar, Best Director, Best Movie for Nomadland. She's
directing Eternals.
Yeah, she's an indie auteur. In fact, she was able to get Marvel and Disney to pony up money. So all of those locations that you see in that movie, those are all real locations. And they just drop a little bit of CGI, like when you see like the spaceship or something like that. But other than that, all those beautiful vistas, all of that's all location shooting.
That's probably like it's a good movie and they don't know how to market it, and so they make the trailer and the trailer just looks like Dune.
I hope, man, because again, you're still talking about space gods.
I mean,
and archetypal human. I'm hoping.
To be fair, I wasn't going to see it either way.
Yeah. I do. I'm looking forward to it. That and the House of Gucci of all movies. Did you see the trailer? It's the Ridley Scott movie about the death of Gucci. Lady Gaga plays the Black Widow. Check out the trailer, man. It's House of Gucci. All right, so let's think. We talked Eternal, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, this clandestine thing. I don't know if anyone has some information and like to kind of add. I would love to hear it. But if you pay attention to the speculation markets and stuff like that, this book does keep going up in value. This was a book that a couple years ago you could have got for like $1 or $2. And again, like I have it here at $8, but it's selling for like 10, 15. Okay, now we have the very first solo. Now it's only a 4-issue limited series, but it is the very first solo series of Sam Wilson, the Falcon, illustrated by Paul Smith, an artist who I love, but wasn't as prolific as I would have hoped. Now this is a Fine Plus copy at $15, but one thing that's really cool about it, and the reason why Mike marked it at a Fine Plus, is because on the inside page, at the bottom of the page, it is signed by Paul Smith. But again, we can't confirm that, even though it looks exactly like a Paul Smith signature, even though the tradition of when you were signing a book for many, many, many decades was never to sign the front cover, but instead to sign either the top or the bottom of the first page. So we believe it's Paul Smith, but because we can't confirm it, we have to knock the grade down to a Fine Plus. And so either way, it's Fine Plus, Falcon #1 at $15.
On an unrelated, my Paul Smith is just a beautiful signature. I've been working on it for years.
Yeah. Huh,
Imagine that.
For anyone who missed out on the local show.
Can I get the Falcon?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Thank you, Mr. Jet.
All right, Mr. Jet. Dude, Paul Smith, man. That is, again,
No,
it's one of those artists that I just
really was like popping on the screen too. Like it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I made a joke, especially when we had that Secret Wars #8. It's high keys for low grades. So the last of our high keys for low grades is Crisis on Infinite Earths #7, The Death of Supergirl, one of the most iconic and homaged and parodied covers of all of comic book history. But it is only a very good grade, and so it is only $6. All right, now let's do a little run through of this little grouping that we have up here. It's the Halloween season, so there's nothing like a Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze comic, and there's nothing like the character, the villain, that I'm pretty sure Al is going to dress up as for next week's Halloween episode, the Weather Wizard. Look at those cool thigh-high purple boots.
That's what I'm wearing today. You just can't see it.
No, this is only a very good plus copy, and it's only $5, but it's fun. It's Ghost Rider 23. Ghost Rider fights the Weather Wizard.
To Mr. Kiernan, I think if you're on YouTube, you're not going to see the Facebook comments, and vice versa. I guess that's still the case. So you're not going to see the Facebook chat messages you won't see if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah, so
I forgot about that. I guess that's the thing still.
I guess that's the thing. I mean, Kyle, I don't know if you're there, if you want to, like, as far as I'm aware, that's what it is. Like, yeah, the chats are all separate from each other.
Well, Jason said he's missing some of the messages, and the only thing I can think is because Mr. Jet's on Facebook.
Oh, I got you. Do you think Jason's starting to feel a little lonely? He's a little hungover?
Yeah, I think Jason's big giant mug might be empty.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's missing some messages.
You think he needs to bring out his 1.75 liter bottle of Tito's handmade vodka?
Probably not. Probably that bottle's empty.
Do you think he's sad he's not here with us right now? Jason, we miss you, buddy.
Probably not.
All right. Again, no big keys or anything. We're just having some fun here. This is, again, from the 90s. This is the Danny Ketch, the second Ghost Rider. This is Ghost Rider #6. This was during the Howard Mackey, Mark Texeira, and we've talked about that. You and I are both a fan of Texeira's art. This Ghost Rider run was a lot of fun, primarily because of his art. And this was the Punisher sort of crossover. There was a 2-issue storyline. Regrettably, we just don't have issue 5. But again, this was a very iconic 90s cover at the time.
It's a weird cover when you look at the positioning.
Well, because my whole thing is is the Punisher standing on a box?
Yeah,
is he on the Ghost Rider's shoulders?
Ghost Rider bent over.
Is the Ghost Rider on his? Is it like one of those weird roof shots?
It's a weird looking. It's a weird looking cover. But
And again, the positioning, the Ghost Rider's head in relation to Frank Castle's, body. But again, this was like, people bought this book just for the cover, man.
And like Ghost Rider was mad at that when it came out. He's like, why is that the cover? Like,
Oh my God, do you think this is a photo bomb? Where actually, like, Ghost Rider is not crunched, like, he thinks he's just taking a selfie or something, but then someone
just
jumped in behind him, yeah. He's like, you're my third pistol. But it's okay, it's a high-grade copy at $4.
Can you feel my thumb?
Every time I think we didn't go far enough, you come in to let us know that
We just drop a little lower.
there's no low that we can't
It's
go.
always the basement.
All right. One of the most infamous, reviled limited series, which really sucks when you consider this is some really awesome. I mean, Bernie Wrightson doing Punisher. That's so cool. But around this time, the Punisher had been killed, so he's dead. And when they were doing the Marvel Knights stuff, so this is before Garth Ennis took over. So this is the very first Marvel Knights Punisher 4-issue miniseries. But if you don't recognize this right away, this is the issue where angels resurrect Frank Castle to be their magical angel angel of judgment.
He's the Saint Killers.
Yeah, he's like the Saint. Dude, he's the Saint of Killers. Why did I not put that together? That's exactly what it is. No wonder Garth is like, they're just stealing my ideas. Pay me to do Punisher. Yeah. And oh my God, you want to talk about that first issue that Garth Ennis does, where he like just completely throws this whole series under the bus?
Oh, you talking about the Marvel Knights?
Yeah, the Marvel Knights, that very first issue. Yeah. Garth Ennis was just like, yeah, that's corny.
That was good stuff.
It was fun, man. Yeah. But hey, it's the Halloween season. Frank Castle's returned from the dead. He's a angel of vengeance. So, and again, Bernie Wrightson, one of the great horror comic artists of all time.
Who at Marvel was like, yeah, let's get Bernie Wrightson to do Punisher?
Because they were like, let's get him to do a horror book, and they never told Bernie Wrightson it was a Punisher book. They're like, no, it's just an angel that goes around and shoots people. And Bernie Wrightson's like, all right. They're like, it's kind of like Frankenstein. And Wrightson's like, you said Frankenstein. They're like, yeah, Frank Castle, Frankenstein, Anyway, very fine plus copy, $4. It's a nice little historical. In fact, try to find that in print. That's just it's like Marvel pretends it doesn't even exist.
That's from the vault.
Yeah.
That's from the Marvel vault.
But here's a fun one. Okay, so this is Punisher versus Deathlock. All right, this is Deathlock number 6, guest starring the Punisher. They're pulling the pigtails of the ones they love.
They're having a tickle fight.
Yeah, they're having a tickle fight. But this is a really cool thing about this issue. Okay. All right. This was the cover, obviously, and then the entire, I'm pretty sure the interior is drawn by Dennis Cohen. Great artist, okay? He also signed it. So there's Dennis Cohen's signature. This book is actually already in a plastic bag with this weird sticker. Because at the time, now I'm sorry we're selling this in the secondary market, so it probably doesn't count. But this was a very special variant where every copy of this sold went to fund the United Negro Fund. And the sticker, which is still on here, like, I don't want to pop it out, but it lays it out. It tells the whole, like, what it's doing, why it's doing it for, and the sticker pretty much acknowledges it as the certificate authenticity. But either way, that is an awesome Dennis Cohen cover. You get a nice signature from him. And again, you like Deathlock, you like Punisher, you like when they shove phallic guns in each other's faces. Well, this is the book for you.
Just so everybody's clear, all your money goes to us. We're not giving any money to anyone.
Oh, and that is a high grade. Obviously, it's never been taken out of its original bag. It's a high grade of $5.
That's cool. That was here, or that came in the collection?
I found it here in the Great Hall. Yeah. Hey, it's surprising when you actually
Start looking.
literally go through every book what you can sometimes find, Speaking of which, from the 90s, also Dennis Cohen. This is the first issue of the same series that this issue comes from. Also, it's the 90s, so of course you get silver foiled cables or whatever the hell that is. But this is Deathlock #1. This is the first ever ongoing solo series of Deathlock, not counting like limited series or little things like that. This was during that period where I think every character in the 90s was getting Darkhawk, Sleepwalker, Deathlock, New Warriors, Guardians of the Galaxy. It was time for a new generation, they said. And a bunch of old men ignored them. But anyway, another younger generation does have fond memories of this, like myself. This is a cool... I was a big fan of Deathlock. Like that Dwayne McDuffie and it was Jackson Geis, that limited series. It was like 3 or 4 issues. That was awesome. Like it was like it retells his origin and... Was it like
Squarebound or like...
Yeah, Squarebound. Yeah, it was Squarebound. And then they did a reprint like right around when this series came out.
Okay.
They did like a non-Squarebound, slightly cheaper reprint of each issue. Yeah. It's great, you know. And again, Dwayne McDuffie, rest in peace, brother. Anyway, Deathlock #1. High-grade copy, $6. All right. If we still have some fellas, or who knows, hopefully some ladies in the room who still want to hear about some more Spider-Man, we got a whole row here. But if anyone's interested, we do have a bunch of bundles up here. Again, if you're not familiar with our bundle system, they're pretty much a steal. I don't think we've ever priced a bundle that isn't less than 50% off.
No, I mean that's pretty much.
That's sort of its shtick.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Now most of it is horror, supernatural, Halloweeny themed. But I don't know if Mr. Oram is still hanging out. But we got some John Ostrander, Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, and we have one of the more groundbreaking 90s series. Even though Valiant took the wrong lessons from its success, but we have a full collection of Unity. So if anyone, please, no matter what I'm talking about, if you want me to skip to something else or you're curious about something, please just let Al know.
Gary Lime says bundles.
But okay, all right, we'll do some bundles right now. All right. So
there's like 3 minutes left in the Eagles, so I think everybody's watching that.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was happening. But here, Gary, let's do some quick bundles. So first up, we have Firestorm, the Nuclear Man from John Ostrander. This is issue 67 through 75. This is retails around $27, but it's $8. Some fun Firestorm. We also have Firestorm issue number 76 through 81. All right, where the return of Firehawk, Brimstone is hanging out. Fun little bundle. Again, issue 76 through 81. This is all from 1988. It's only $5. And then we have the one I was just talking about. This is a complete set of Valiant's big company-wide crossover book, Unity, something that really revitalized the industry, but for regrettably a very brief moment in time, because again, I think Valiant kind of took the wrong lessons from some of their success. But this it's 18 issues altogether, including the 0 issue and the first issue, which is the bookend, illustrated by Barry Windsor Smith. And then all of the Valiant books that were coming out at that time, you get 2 issues for each book. The first 8 issues are all done with Frank Miller covers, and the second 8-issue set are all done by Walt Simonson covers. It's a great set. If you've never read this series, it's a lot of fun. Retails around $60, but we're selling it tonight for only $20. And then, like I said, we got a bunch of sort of horror stuff, starting with Stephen Niles' Criminal Macabre series, the Cal McDonald. This is Steve Niles and a great horror artist, Kelly Jones. This is Last Train to Deadsville, issue 1 through 4 from 2004. That's a $6 bundle. And then we have, and if you didn't realize that they based the look of Cal McDonald off of Thomas Jane, just look at that. There you go. This is Criminal Macabre, the Two Red Eyes miniseries, issue 1 through 4 of 2007. This one is done by another great horror artist, Kyle Hotz. Hotz?
Hotz.
Yeah. Only $6. And then you get the crossover with Steve Niles and Ben Templesmith, who at the time had done a little book called 30 Days of Night. And soon after the success of that, they introduced Cal McDonald There's sort of Cold Jack. He's kind of a Cold Jack character, like a private eye, noir character, but he deals with supernatural monster stuff.
He's not dead, right?
I don't know.
Like he's not like a zombie or anything.
No.
He's not supernatural.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
He's just a dude with a nice right hook and a bat or something. I don't know. But this is the Criminal Macabre crossover with 30 Days of Night. Written by Steve Niles and Ben Templesmith, the original writer and artist of 30 Days of Night. This is issue 1 through 5, and it's a complete series, $8.
Cool. Would you mind hitting up the Black Adam?
Yes.
Real quick. Just Mr. Quintero's interested in the prices.
Of course. All right, so the Black Adams, real quick. One book that has become a bit of a key here is Black Adam #1. Like, surprisingly, this is the first solo series that Black Adam ever had. This is by Peter Tomasi and Doug Mank. This is a high-grade copy at $12. And then from that same 6-issue limited series, we have issue 3, which has a little bit of value because Black Adam and Hawkman fight. And anything pertaining to Black Adam and Hawkman fighting is a real big deal right now in the market because DC keeps promising in the Black Adam movie that Hawkman will play a role, and it looks like it's going to be an antagonistic relationship. This is a high-grade copy at $6. And then we have the Year of the Villain, Black Adam one-shot. This was where Black Adam fights an infected Shazam. And again, just like Black Adam versus Hawkman, any book that deals with Black Adam fighting Shazam is drawing a lot of interest in the secondary market. This is a high-grade copy at $6. And then last we have the Black Adam special one-shot from the Endless Winter event. This one was a fun. Black Adam fights like a bunch of like supernatural creatures and all that kind of stuff. But again, after the DC Fandom event from last weekend, any book dealing with Black Adam is drawing a lot of interest right now as the market tries to figure out where everything is going. This is a high-grade copy, also at $6.
Can I get Black Adam #1 and 3?
Yep.
So those are going to Duke, and then Mr. Quintero is going to take all the rest.
All right.
Mr. Quintero, I'm sorry he got in there. And,
Wait.
you need...
I might have a second #1.
Okay.
Do you want me to here? Mr. Quintero, are you interested in a Black Adam #1?
Were you claiming everything, or were you just claiming what was left after Duke got his books?
Yes.
By the way, Duke, you got your book. Mr. Quintero, you got your book, and we might have #1 for you.
Mr. Quintero, if you're interested, we have same thing, high grade, $12, Black Adam #1. They're carbon copy. There's no difference between, and I'm pretty sure these are our last 2 copies of this book.
Cool. All right, yeah, he's
All right, cool.
And, so Duke, you got 1 and 3. Mr. Quintero, you got everything else.
All right, excellent. Cool beans.
And we're going to go to a quick break.
All right, break time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, I'm Joe Pruitt. I'm the publisher and /CEO of Aftershock Comics, and you're watching The Experience.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Hi, I'm Brian Haberlin, and I want to tell you a little bit about my new book coming out in October, Hellcop. Hellcop's been rattling around my brain for decades. When I launched Avalon Comics with Whilce Portacio, Hellcop was one of the initial launches, but I was wearing a lot of hats back then. So I gave over the reins to Joe Casey and Gilbert Monsanto, and they did a great job, but it was my baby. If you look at sketchbooks I've done over the years, there's Hellcops throughout. There are pages started, stories started. So let me tell you a little bit about the story. Discovering a whole new world that had only previously existed in our collective imaginations. A tale of adventure, betrayal. Hell's just another place, another planet with native creatures most on Earth would call monsters. And humans that have been there as long as they've been here. Doctors, lawyers, maybe too many lawyers. Please join me in October for the release of Hellcop and the Hellcop 3D Halloween special. Hey, I want to say thanks for watching, and I really hope you can go and ask your retailer to pick up Hellcop for October. There's going to be a 3D version with 3D glasses and the whole 9 yards, and the regular version, of course, too, with some pretty fun covers. Thank you for your attention, your support, as always, and hope you guys have a great day.
Hello, everybody. What's up? Just setting up a couple books here. A little more Halloween themed. We've got some Morbius, some Tomb of Dracula, a little Swamp Thing. Nothing big, super key or anything like that. I don't want to psych anybody out. But let's think. Okay, unless something comes up in the chat that someone wants me to talk about very specifically. Again, in terms of the bundles. If anyone sees anything up here you're interested in, we have a Crow mini-series called Skinning the Wolves, where it's a crow existing in Auschwitz. We have the Wachowskis and Steve Scrosey. They're Doc Frankenstein. They're sort of like pulp hero, which is pretty cool. We even have the first 10 issues from the Eclipso, the Face of Vengeance series from the early 90s that came after the whole Eclipso annual event. We even have a really cool 4-issue comic book adaptation of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which if you've ever been on a bad psychedelic trip, it really does fit into the whole horror theme that we're going for. We even have the 7-issue Forever Evil DC event, where all the villains fight the crime syndicate. We also have one of my all-time favorite Grant Morrison comic books, The Filth, but you don't want me, I'll pretty much ruin the rest of the show because I'll just stand up here and talk about that. So I just want you to know we do have some bundles, so if anyone's interested and you want me to show them off or let you know prices, let me know. But until then, let's step back into some of these books that we have over here on the spotlight table. First of all, if anyone missed it during the local show, this is a Marvel Point 1 #1. It's a high grade at $30. It's a book that keeps going up in value, primarily because it is the first appearance of the most recent Nova, Sam Alexander, a character along with Richard Rider, the original Nova, that Marvel keeps saying that they are absolutely going to introduce at some point into something. So, of course, the book keeps going up in value because people keep buying it, and in preparation. Because let me be honest, if Sam Alexander comes out in something and it hits, this is going to be like Vengeance #1 or the other Marvel Point, all new, all different Marvel Point 1, which was the first appearance of Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. Vengeance #1 was the first appearance of America Chavez, Miss America. All characters that we know for a fact are going to be in movies and TV series. And those books now will net you somewhere around a few $100s. So this one day might be a few $100s, and right now it's only $30, and it might be our last copy.
I don't think you don't have any Warlock up here, do you?
No.
Mr. Quintero, no Warlock today. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if you see something and you think it's Warlock or you're just asking. But no, I don't have any Warlock up here at the moment.
But if you have any, if you're looking for anything, you can feel free to email, and I can check what we have.
Just because we don't have it here on the show, again, let's avoid the way too general, like, do you have any horror comics? And you're like, well, yeah, we got horror comics. Give me some detail. Can we be a teeny bit more specific to help us out? Just makes our job easier.
The Eagles are about to win.
No way, for real?
Oh, wait, no, never mind. I read that wrong.
All right, thanks. You actually got me excited for a second there. You know what? To keep my energy up for the rest of the show, you should just lie to me.
Just keep doing that.
And I'll be like, yeah, Eagles won. Hopefully the Sixers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. All right, so let's do, I don't know, Mr. Hunter, if you're still out there, buddy, let's do some Spider-Man real quick. So here we have Marvel Team Up Annual number 4. This is where Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Iron Fist all team up to take on the Purple Man. But it's also, this is a Frank Miller cover, and it's also written. This issue, I can't remember who does the art, but this issue is actually written by Frank Miller. So you get a really cool one-shot annual of Spider-Man, Moon Knight. Oh yeah, Moon Knight. I forgot Moon Knight's in here. Yeah, look at that team, guys. Spider-Man, Power Man, Iron Fist, Daredevil, and Moon Knight, like written by Frank Miller in the 80s. That's pretty badass. And it's only a fine copy at $4. And then we have Marvel Team Up Annual number 7. Now this one is written and illustrated by John Byrne. This is Marvel Team Up Annual 7, Spider-Man and Alpha Flight team up together. This is a very fine copy at $4. And then back to a little Clone Saga here. I hadn't seen this in a while, so I wanted to throw this one out there. Spider-Man Unlimited changed its name to Scarlet Spider Unlimited around the time that Ben Reilly became the Spider-Man. You know, Peter Parker went off with MJ to have a kid and all that kind of stuff. Also, this is you get more into the origin of Kane, one of the broken clones, all that fun stuff. This is a high-grade copy at $5. And now this one, I wish it was in, this is a high condition, this is a high grade at only $5. I was when I first saw this, I got a little excited because I thought it was the, it's like a holofoil or something. Like this is like the non-collector's edition. But this is the issue where you find out, you get the reveal of who Ben Reilly is. This was a very infamous issue because this is the moment where most audiences, most readers found out that the Peter Parker that they have been reading for the past 20, 25 years was not the real Peter Parker. This is where you find out who Ben Reilly is. Again, that was Spider-Man 51, Power and Responsibility Part 3, high grade at $5. Now, the Power and Responsibility storyline.
Can I get 51
and
number 4?
And Marvel Team of 4.
Marvel Team of 4.
Yep. Well, Annual 4. Yeah. Sorry, not to be semantics.
Mr. Lime, let's keep it friendly. It's a family show.
What's happening? Is it so?
He's trying to take shots.
Oh, he's taking shots.
Taking shots at people. It's not.
He's
bringing families into it.
He's stirring. He's stirring the pot.
Come on, man. People will get on the bus for those kind of comments.
Hey, Gary.
All the way to Brooklyn to see it.
Gary, you're a perpetual pot stirrer, brother.
You're a pot. He's like Oran. He just shows up out of nowhere. Just walks from the mist.
But he can never be ignored. You always know when he's there. That is one thing that you can definitely take away from. But anyway, Power and Responsibility storyline. That is the storyline that was supposed to be very brief. All right, we've talked about the Clone Saga before. You were supposed to find out that there's this guy Penn Riley, the clone, and then you find out that Peter Parker is actually the clone, and Ben Reilly is the real Peter. And it all begins, that infamous story that should have been brief and became like a 3-year event that destroyed the Spider-Man sales, but in a weird way has become very beloved almost 30 years, well over 20 years later. To the point where if anyone's reading the new Amazing Spider-Man, the Zeb Wells stuff, Ben Reilly's back, people.
It's like the Plan 9 of outer space of our generation.
It really is. But the issue that started it off was this holofoil flip book, Power and Responsibility, Part 1, Web of Spider-Man 117, beginning the saga that will rock the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man versus Peter Parker. What? Again, this issue started it all, people. This is literally the beginning of the Clone Saga. This is a very fine copy at only $4. And then the issue that technically ended the Clone Saga is the Giant Size Extravaganza, The Greatest Responsibility, Part 3 of 3, The End of an Era. I'm pretty sure we did sell a copy of this a few weeks ago. It's the weird kind of like acetate covers where it's like
the overlay.
Yeah. This is Spectacular Spider-Man 229. Yeah, 229. It's a high-grade copy at $5. This is the issue where Ben Reilly, the real Peter, officially takes over, and the clone Peter, who was married to MJ, who was pregnant at this time, they go off to live their life. So this was technically supposed to be the end of it, but as we know about comics, it's never the end. So again, high grade, $5.
Can I get Spider-Man 117?
Spider-Man
Like a
117.
spectacular one? I don't know what the Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, the Web of Spider-Man 117. Yes, I'm sorry. It took me again awake for now 38 hours.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Thank you, Mr. Jet. You got your team up annual also.
All right, cool.
Very cool.
Now, these two issues sort of were occurring right after the Clone Saga kind of stuff. So we get an introduction of a character by the name of Phil Urich. Is he the son of Ben Urich or a nephew? I'm trying to remember what his Mr. Hunter. You like Phil Urich. What's his relationship to Ben Urich? Anyway, this is Web of Spider-Man 125, giant size extravaganza. It's got a 3D live-action Scarlet Spider holodisc. That's what that is, because again, it's the 90s, people. If there isn't a gimmick, then you can't charge $4 for a $1.50 comic. Gwen and Peter, together again. Don't worry, it's not real. She's a clone. Anyway, this is a very fine copy at $4. But again, what makes this book kind of key is the first appearance of Phil Ulrich. And that's important because he will play a role in different Spider-Man books, but specifically, he's the character who became the good guy Green Goblin. So this is the first appearance of, this is Spectacular Spider-Man 225, again, gimmicky holodisc cover, but this is the issue where Phil Ulrich becomes the Green Goblin, and that spins off into his own comic book series, illustrated by Scott McDaniel, who was, I think, was he coming off of his Nightwing run, or if it was before? It might have been before his Nightwing run. Either way, this is Spectacular Spider-Man 225. This is a very fine copy at $4.
Would he have been doing Daredevil, or is that later?
No, Daredevil was first.
And then he did Spider-Man?
And then maybe he did Green Goblin. Well, Spider-Man was just very brief.
Yeah.
Because then it immediately went to the
Green Goblin mini.
Like it was like a 12 or 13 issue series, and it ended when the Green Goblin tried to fight Onslaught. Because
why not?
You can't have a comic where. Oh, all right, cool. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, this is really cool. And Mr. Hunter doesn't know who it is.
Okay, all right. I figured. Again, all you guys are connected to your, just Marvel fandom. That. Okay.
It was before he went to DC.
Okay, so it was before. All right, cool.
Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain.
Thanks, Mr. Chamberlain. Appreciate it, bud. All right, so I guess the next we'll step up to this sort of Hulk row. Specifically, part of the reason it's up there is because we have two sort of anniversary issues that I haven't seen in a while, but they're relatively affordable. But more importantly, one of my favorite Peter David, Dale Keown runs of Hulk was this sort of re-teaming up of the Defenders. But we'll get to that in 1 second. For anyone who's curious, this is a book that keeps drawing interest. This was Totally Awesome Hulk number 15. This was the first appearance of the characters of the Protectors, which was an all-Asian sort of team. You get the Amadeus Cho Hulk, you get Shang-Chi, you get Silk, and you get Kamala Khan. So this is a book that has, especially post the Shang-Chi movie, has definitely held a lot of interest and is definitely holding its value right now. So this is a high-grade copy at $15. Now, stepping back again, we got a real 90s theme going on. Again, sometimes these themes happen without us even realizing. So this was during Peter David's very epic run on The Incredible Hulk. And this is also, and again, I'm not going to talk about him as a human being because I don't know him. And what I do know, I'm uncomfortable with. But as a Hulk artist, I really love Dale Keown. And this is the issue where he begins his wonderful, I wish it was a lot longer, but this is the beginning of his run as an artist on The Incredible Hulk. So this is The Incredible Hulk 369. This is a very fine copy at $4. We're still in Joe Fixit era, still Gray Hulk, where he fights the Freedom Force. And then we get two of my favorite Hulk issues, Incredible Hulk 370 and 371, but I'll show that cover in a second. This is where, not counting the Silver Surfer, but Namor, Doctor Strange, and Grey Hulk team up to fight a bunch of supernatural, scary dimension monsters, dark ones, no ones, some Lovecraftian, whatevers. This is wild. I love this two-part story. And then we have the second part of that, which is Incredible Hulk 371. Oh, I forgot to mention, very fine, $4. And then this one, the second part of that storyline, 371. It's a fine plus at $3. But now Doctor Strange and Namor have to fight Dark Hulk. And then coming out of the events of those two issues is issue 372, The Return of the Green Hulk. So there we go. Incredible Hulk 372. This is a fine plus copy at $4. The Return of the Green Hulk. And now we're getting to one of the last kind of eras of the Peter David run of Incredible Hulk, which I think might have been about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it was super long.
It was super long, from like 88 to like 97 or something. It was almost a decade. It was. I loved it. It was intense. Talk about a soap opera.
I mean,
yeah.
It was constant.
Yeah,
it was the one constant.
No, you're absolutely right. And they were always good, and they always had good artists because obviously you had Dale Keown. You had Gary Frank. That's how I learned about Gary Frank. Liam Sharp, who we got up there, we'll get to in a little bit and everything. It was just, Todd McFarlane did all those early. Yeah, like everyone forgets that those Todd McFarlane Hulk issues. That's Peter David.
That's all Peter David.
Yeah, it's all David. All right, so here we go. This is the 400th issue and the death of Marlowe. And this is the Ghost of the Past, part 4 of 4. With, again, it's the 90s, so you better believe this is all holofoil. Yes, Incredible Hulk 400, very fine plus copy, $4. And then the special 425th issue, and also the last Liam Sharp illustrated. Oh, because right after Liam Sharp, you get Mike Diodato, and after Mike Diodato, you get Adam Kubert. Dude, man, Incredible Hulk, the Peter David, man, that was like a who's who of like artists, like right before they really like truly hit their prime and stuff like that.
It's like the Silver Surfer's letters page.
I know, right? It has that vibe to it, you know. Or it's like the Dana Carvey show that like all the writers behind the show were like all of the people who become like the biggest comedians and writers. I know, or the Ben Stiller show. Like it was a who's who of talent way before they got big. I mean, yeah, that's where, like,
the Chevy Chase show.
No, that was always terrible. Again, it's the 90s, so there's our little hologram gimmicky cover. But still, this was a wild little run. And also, when they were doing the more, like, when Liam Sharp was doing it, it was definitely more of a horror book, maybe closer to. By the way, has everyone finished the Immortal Hulk, like that last issue and stuff? that series, 50 issues and a couple one-shots. That's definitely one of the best comic book series of the past 10 years, easily. Yeah, that's just an unbelievable. Al Ewing and Joe Bennett, man, take a lap, guys. Pat yourself on the back, whatever.
Don't come in here because we don't have any copies.
Yeah, no, we don't have any copies.
Marvel won't sell them.
But at the same time, okay, so Mike was telling me like there was this like show where like people were buying Immortal Hulks, which were in the high teens or 20s, for like $50, $60. And I was so confused because maybe they're like $10.
Like CGC?
I don't think so. I don't know. I actually, now that you say that, like if they're CGC, that makes more sense. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's FOMO as I'm learning on Instagram, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, people see it. It's all an algorithm.
Very fine plus copy, $5. All right. So there is our awesome Hulks. Now, again, sticking in the 90s. Here we have Iron Man 283.
It's like stuck in the 90s.
I know, right? This is the third appearance of Tony Stark in the War Machine armor. This is a very fine copy at $6. And then Heroes for the 90s. New Warriors #1.
Ooh.
Yeah, speaking of Dick Ryder, Kid Nova, when he still had Kid Nova, Richard Ryder, buddy. Yeah. What? We're too old for that joke?
Hell no, I'm laughing, aren't I? I co-sign that joke with every fiber of my being.
This Fabian Necesia and Mark Bagley, this first 25 issue run of New Warriors. Ty, I hope you're doing well out there, wherever you are, buddy, because he's one of the few people who would agree with me that this was just such a favorite of ours when we were young.
Really?
This series was awesome. Yeah. And the great thing about the 25 issues is it's really one big story that they're telling. Yeah. And it all pays off in the end. And it's really just, there's a lot of pathos. It's really well done. Like if no one's ever read this is definitely, I hope it's not become forgotten or undervalued. But this was, especially for the early 90s, before Marvel and DC really shit the bed in the mid to late 90s with their superhero books. This was actually really good. It's kind of like the same way I felt about Jim Valentino's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Stuff, yeah.
Like full 25 issues, and it felt like once you got to that final issue, it felt like the complete story from issue 1 to 25. And this one was a lot like that as well. This is a fine plus copy at $12. All right. Now we're going to do the ultimate of 90s. We're talking about the Ultraverse. We're talking about Image, Cyberforce. We're talking about storylines referred to as Killer Instinct. We're talking about hologram covers. We're talking about gold foil, silver foil.
Man, you really are channeling that knife guy. We got gold foils.
We got hollowness. We got die cut. Here we go. Again, you can barely see it because it's such an insane hologram.
It shows up really well on here.
Does it? All right,
I can actually see the hologram picture.
Oh, really?
Unusual. Yeah.
Okay, I guess my display.
It's as you move it. It's not constant.
But. Do you notice that his abs are really?
He looks amazing. Oh my god!
Now, do you think this is what Sylvester Stallone would look like in Over the Top? So there you go. This is Prime #1, the holographic limited edition. This is a high grade at $10.
I can't tell if I'm making it look better just because I can't see it that well, maybe. But I'm like, man, that's a really great cover. That's amazing art.
Is that Norm Brayfogle? Because I actually...
Is he slamming somebody with a car?
Oh my god, dude! It's an homage of Action Comics number 1.
That's what it kind of.
Because there's the dude running away. It's kind of hard to see. Sorry, but yeah, and he's smashing a car.
I mean, if you hit it at the right spot, it looks like a piece of aluminum foil.
No, right? Doesn't it? In fact, I should just put this in my oven and cook my pizza.
Mr. Quintero's going to
all right, cool, man.
Thank you, sir.
Does anyone have fond memories of Prime? I don't want to talk about the writer, But Norm Brayfogel's art, I love the idea of this young kid who could kind of create this like weird.
That's a really great.
Like gooey.
Honestly, that's a great cover.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's
yeah,
really nice.
it's unique too. I never saw it before until Mike gave it to me, and I read that Prime book. I was one of those weirdos.
Who wrote it? If you don't mind my asking.
Gerard Jones,
From
who's in jail now.
oh.
You know, yeah. Like there's a lot, and he was so prolific in the 80s and 90s. There's so many books where I'm like, ugh. God.
I can't even do it.
You okay?
I'm not.
Well, while Al gathers himself, let's show off the silver foil Cyber Force #2 Killer Instinct Part 2. It's embossed. Yeah, look at that. It's again the 90s, people. Oh my God, look, it's so 90s. There you go, Mark Silvestri. Good times. This was the crossover event with Jim Lee's Wildcats, Killer Instinct. This is again a high grade copy at $10.
Mr. Kiernan, I'm sorry, Mr. Quintero beat you out to it. And to the Afronaut, I do like the cover, and I do like his abs. You broke me, man. You broke me, Afronaut.
And here we go. Now this is Cyberforce #3, the final part of the 4-part Killer Instinct crossover with the Wildcats. This is the gold embossed cover. Again, I hope you guys have a fond memory of the 90s.
There was a Prime cartoon, or was it a
Ultra Force, which was the Avengers of the old. So you got Prime, Hard Case, Firearm. No, oh God, who? Oh my God, I used to know these stupid characters. But yeah, there was an Ultra Force cartoon. So and Prime was a part of it. So technically, there was a cartoon with Prime in it. He was a fun character, and again, I love anything Norm Brayfogle did. I'll always have a soft spot for that guy, man. Rest in peace, brother. Again, high grade, gold embossed Cyberforce #3, only $10. Same thing, I don't know if I said the price. The silver embossed is also high grade at $10. All right. All right. Now, are we okay for time? We're not.
I've got a break in like a minute.
About a minute?
Yeah.
All right. So really quickly, because I think in the last segment, we're just going to do $2 books. But before we do that, here's a polybagged, high-grade, Darkhold, part of the Midnight Suns storyline. This is $5. And then we have the very first solo Morbius series, also part of the Midnight Suns story arc. Again, fully polybagged, high-grade. This is $8. And then we have the second Morbius Living Vampire series. This is also the issue that starts to develop his origin a little bit more. The origin that the movie that has still not come out, or did it come out and we missed it? Anyway, but this is where they start to derive a lot of that stuff from. This is a high grade at $8.
You know, if you're going to ask questions about movies, there's no point in me being
Yeah, that's right. And then this is just some fun stuff. Tomb of Dracula, #22, where he fights a dude who is not the Scarecrow. Instead, he's like a lightning lord or something, but he sure looks like Freddy Krueger's ugly cousin. This is a Fine Plus copy at $10. And then we have Tomb of Dracula #52, Fine Plus copy at $10, where he's fighting his ill-begotten son. And then, because we can't talk about horror comics without showing off my boy Swamp Thing. If anything else, I just couldn't help myself. That is just a spooky Halloween cover of him just crawling his way out of a grave with that awesome little red moon and stuff. Good stuff. Swamp Thing #13. I believe this is a Fine Plus, very fine minus at $8. All right, so I guess we'll do a break. Okay.
Break, yeah.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Hey, I'm Garrett Gunn. You might know me from Good Boy, Warcorns, Franklin and Ghost, and you're watching The Experience.
And I just completely depressed myself. Like the fact that so much of my mental health is predicated on my dog and my cats outliving me, which I know is not going to happen unless tragically I don't make it. I don't know what that says about me, but
you just get another cat. You just get another dog.
I love them, man. I love my babies.
You ever have somebody say that shit to you?
Oh yeah, completely, man.
Hey, you just get another cat.
Just get another. I'm like, then you've never had one. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Hey, when Fred came over last night, he met her. But Fred was one of the very few people when I told him, listen, she's going to bark. She's going to act like an asshole. All you have to do is just ignore her, and all will be fine. And he did, and it worked.
It all was fine.
Good job, Fred. I don't know if you're still watching, but
Mr. Bishop, it is comic book therapy. That's what this is.
Okay, so this is pretty much our last segment for the evening. I am exhausted, so I'm going to try to get up and show off the books, but really from this point forward, we're just going to do $2 books, just kind of sort of, play out the clock. We don't have a drop dead time, but around 8 o'clock, unless we're having just such an amazing time and we're just selling this entire box of $2 books, I might want to call it a night.
I'm hungry, so no.
Oh yeah, you're hungry too. Yeah.
So we'll see 8, maybe 8:05.
Yeah. All right. So most of this is Marvel stuff. There's a little bit of there's some like Silver Age, Superboys, but a lot of this is we've got a Betty and Me. All right. Yeah. Here, Betty and Me, $2. I didn't expect it. And if you don't like this cover, then don't worry. You get some weird kid eating a popsicle, a creamsicle, or something like that. Yeah, there's only one. It's a popsicle. Play ball. Ridiculous. But like I said, most of this stuff is like Bronze Age Marvel with a couple differences. But the thing I'm going to start with is something that I wasn't aware existed, and I thought was kind of neat. So Quality Comics was, I don't know if it was a British publisher that was just reprinting certain stuff from 2000 AD. Obviously, if there's anyone in the chat who knows the answer to that, let me know. But I was rooting through the Greg hole one day, and I discovered this anthology series called Time Twisters. And at first I was like, oh, cool. It's like a weird sci-fi British like anthology series. And then I started looking at a lot of the writers and artists. We had almost a complete run, except we're missing issue 2 and issue 8.
It was a branch of 2000 AD in the U.S.
Oh, okay. So that was so it was still
U.S. publisher. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the reason why we don't have issue 2 and 8 is because Grant Morrison wrote a bunch of stories in those 2 issues. And if anyone's ever talked to me about comic books, Grant Morrison is my all-time favorite, and I didn't have them, so I went, these are mine. But the other big writer who pops up in a lot of these issues is Alan Moore, Peter Milligan, Jamie Delano. I mean, it's a who's who. Like, if they worked for 2000 AD, they might pop up in one of these issues. Now, again, these are all just $2. They're all in really good condition, and they're all just pretty much self-contained anthology weird sci-fi stories. So we have Time Twisters, #1. Time Twisters, #3, Nasty Nazis. Yeah, because the British in the 80s, they still remembered World War II, unlike some people in America, Holocaust deniers, you lunatics. Time Twisters, #4. There we go. All from Quality Comics. Time Twisters, #5. You get some John McCrea in these. You get some Bill Maher, not to be confused with that guy. You get some Steve Dillon.
Do you know what Kyle's referencing when he says what Neil Gaiman said about Morrison? Is there like
No.
bad blood? Kyle,
Oh,
I'm not familiar.
I know there's bad blood between Moore and Morrison.
All right, I'm just going to come on and say it.
Okay, cool.
So Neil Gaiman would talk about how he and a bunch of other guys were like pouring their soul out on the page and writing till their fingers bled, and how Grant Morrison would just go off and do fine African tree drugs and come back and completely reinvigorate Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And I was super jealous of that ability.
I believe it.
That's awesome.
I believe it. Grant Morrison's the man.
And then he was like, I got a stain on my coat. Someone pay for it.
We weren't even there for that. And for some reason, we love Mike so much, we won't let that one go.
I hold on to that. Can you real quick,
Yeah.
after the Time Twisters, can you just run through that Morbius for Duke?
Yeah. We got a bunch of Time Twisters. If anyone's interested, they're only $2. And like I said, they're all self-contained. So if you're just looking for some weird, British sci-fi written by writers, yeah, man, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of Alan Moore and Peter Milligan and stuff like that. There's a couple people I'm not familiar with, but I was shocked, man. And like those 2 issues that I found that were written by Grant Morrison, I never heard of them before.
Any Al Ewing? Did he used to write? I think he wrote for 2008. That might have
I think so, yeah. Because Al Ewing I used to think was black, and someone was like, no, he is a pasty-faced white British dude. And I was like, oh, all right, my bad. The Morbiuses, right? Okay, so this was a full polybagged Morbius #1, part of the Midnight Suns storyline in the mid-90s. This was technically the very first solo Morbius series that he ever got. And then we have the second solo Morbius series that came out about a decade or so later, Morbius the Living Vampire, #1. Now, what makes this one kind of unique or special is it starts to really flesh out more of Morbius's origin. So this one is a high grade at $8. Yes, the other one was also a high grade at $8. And if you're curious about some more Morbius, I'm pretty sure I have an issue of Fear in here. Oh, actually, wait. No, I got a couple of funny things here. Let me, excuse me, everybody. Let me just, there it is. Found it. All right, so real quick, if you're looking for some more Bronze Age Morbius, soon after Man-Thing was done being part of the Fear series, Morbius had his little run hanging out, doing his shtick, and not even Morbius can survive, caught in the coven of death. But this is a very good plus copy at only $5. But now I have 2 copies of this, and this is something I wasn't aware of until I was kind of like doing some research. First, let me just say this is a high-grade copy at $4, and this is a very fine copy at $3. This is Peter Parker Spider-Man #8 by Howard Mackey and John Romita Jr. But what is unique about this issue? All right, so for many of you who might not be aware, Blade, for the longest time, the Daywalker, all that kind of stuff, he was technically immune to vampire bites. All right? It wasn't until this issue where Morbius bites Blade, and because Morbius's blood is some weird synthetic chemical, there's something special about Morbius's blood, his bite causes Blade to become a vampire. So this is the issue. Like, and a lot of people might not even be aware about this, because like And this would have been right before the Blade movie came out. So in the movie, they established Blade as a vampire pretty quickly. Up until this issue, Blade was never a vampire. He was just, immune to vampire stuff. It wouldn't be until this issue and Morbius himself bit him where Blade got vampire powers.
Can I get both Morbius number 1s?
Yes.
Two of them?
Yes.
And then can I get the Spider-Man number 8?
Yes, I imagine they want the high grade?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
Well, Mr. Hunter, you want the higher grade? Because Mr. Barucci's getting the other one. So which one you want? Let us know.
Yeah.
Here, will you give me the other one? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My fault.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, fellas. All right, so I guess I'm standing up already. So whoever.
I don't know. You got any
Was
more
that-
of these in there? These time?
No, that's it.
These are great.
They're really
Oh,
good.
there's some Steve Dillon in here.
Yeah, Steve Dillon,
Gary Leach. I think.
yes, Gary Leach. Yeah, there's a bunch. I found them.
Peter Milligan.
Yes, I found them a couple months ago, so I had a better memory at the time of all the different people in it. And I had this whole thing. I was going to talk about certain stories and everything, and then it just got lost in the shuffle. And now when I finally pulled them out, I can't fully remember everything. But I do remember those 2 issues that I bought myself because there's a few Grant Morrison short stories in there, and I couldn't pass it up. I'm very rarely a completist of anything, but I think in my collection, outside of a full run of Hellblazer, I guess the only real true completist thing I have is Grant Morrison comics.
Stuff,
Yeah.
You have the was it Zenith?
Mhm.
The UK stuff.
I got not the original issues, but I have the really nice hardcovers that they put out.
Titan or
Yeah, Titan about a decade ago or something. Yeah, I got it all. I love it. Love it.
You got Duke's interested in the She-Hulk. He's curious what the
Okay.
She-Hulk is, and then if you could do the Adventure into Fear after that.
Sure. Okay, real quick.
Just do the whole show again.
If you missed the local show, I'm not going to belabor it, especially if it makes some people uncomfortable. But anyone who's been paying attention to the secondary market over the past week or two, this character, known as Star Fox, also known as Eros, is he a half brother of Thanos? All that kind of stuff. Okay, so there's a lot of rumors that are really picking up steam and starting to be kind of confirmed. So the secondary market is becoming convinced that Star Fox is going to be a part of, in some form or another, the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Okay, so every key issue connected to Eros or Star Fox have jumped up in value like crazy. I think it was is it Avengers 252 or 232 where his name changes from Eros to Star Fox. I mean that book's
we had it a couple times on the show, or at least last week I think we had it.
I don't know, did we? Because it's now like a $50-$60 book.
Maybe you were just talking about it.
Yeah, I think I was just talking about it on the local show. Obviously, his first appearance is already valuable because it's Thanos' first appearance is Iron Man 55. But another book, this book, and again, I only marked it's high grade. I made it a $10 book because I feel comfortable. I feel uncomfortable going a little bit further to where the market is dictating it right now. Because right now, or at least it was a couple days ago, this issue is selling for like $20, $30. Because this issue is a very controversial issue. There's nothing key about it. Obviously, Star Fox is an established character. She-Hulk is an established character. Also, what has been established before this issue is Star Fox and She-Hulk definitely got biblical with one another. They definitely, for anyone who doesn't know that reference, they had sex. But this issue is where, for anyone who doesn't know Star Fox's power, he has this weird pheromone thing where he can manipulate people.
He's a predator.
And the thing is Star Fox always had, let's say, a bit of a himbo, like with Hercules, except Hercules just gets drunk with women and then they all consent and sleep together. Why Star Fox sleeps with a lot of women, and yet a lot of times after the fact, they're like, man, what's that drug that makes me compliant? And then I kind of sort of forget the experience, and Star Fox is like, I don't know, my superpower? So this is the issue where it finally catches up with him, and he is being accused of, I'm sorry to use this word, it's controversial, but he's being accused of rape. Because some women are saying that they did not consent to having sex with him. And this issue gets really heavy because She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, who defends him, has to wrestle with the idea that she doesn't fully remember giving him consent. I'll never forget, when I read this issue, I was blown away that Dan Slott went this route. It was so clever. It never even occurred to me.
I think he was just like, I can't stand this character.
Probably. I have a feeling he just like,
this douchebag.
yeah. Well, anyway, this book, no matter what you want to say about it, is definitely one of the more controversial comic books that Marvel has ever published, definitely in the past, 20 years. And because of the ignited interest in this character, all of the weird issues where he pops up are starting to go up in value, and this one is no different. But unlike the top market value that's going right now, at this point, this is a high-grade copy, and I really only feel comfortable charging $10.
Oh, Rand's gonna take it.
All right.
Duke, I'm sorry, Mr. Barucci got that copy of Spider-Man. I'm sorry you missed out. If we turn up another one, I'll put it in your spot.
Yeah, if we find another one.
There's a good chance. We're going through a million books right
We're
now.
rooting through stuff. Trust us. All right, so let's get to some. All right, let's just run through some some $2 books, okay?
Man, they're $20 now.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's crazy.
Sorry, I'm really tired. All right, so here we have a couple of Marvel Triple Action. So boom, Marvel Triple Action number 16, The Road Back. See Captain America's sensational battle with Power Man, not to be confused with Luke Cage, because Marvel loved to reuse the names, that's for sure. Also, a surprise team of villains whom you never expected to see in this issue. Probably the Boy Scouts of America, for all I know. $2, people. These are all just $2. Marvel Triple Action number 5. This is the issue where the Avengers fight the Masters of Evil. And for anyone who doesn't know Marvel Triple Action, these are all reprints of Silver Age.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Barucci's going to give the book up to Duke. Thank you, Mr. Barucci. And he did ask her about the Adventures into Fear real quick.
Oh, yes, I apologize. That was
Sorry
just,
about that. Yeah.
okay, so this is Adventures into Fear was a horror book for a while, and then for a bit it was a Man-Thing book, and then soon after Man-Thing left, Morbius took over the book for a period of time. So this is Adventure into Fear, the man called Morbius, the living vampire caught in the coven of death. He fights a bunch of witches, but they're all socialite witches and stuff, because it was the 80s and or the late 70s, and the yuppies were just around the corner. But this is only a very good plus copy, primarily because it just has some age to it. The pages are a little creamy, let's say, but it's only $5, and it's a fun little Bronze Age era Morbius comic.
Can I get that?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next up, Marvel Triple Action. Now, this is a reprint of some Fantastic Four. Doomsday means death. This is one of the issues that reprints when Dr. Doom stole the Silver Surfer's power. As you can see from Dr. Doom surfing. I mean, for $2, it's worth it just for this Dr. Doom surfing. This is also the issue right before. This is Marvel Triple Action number 2. This is the issue where Dr. Doom initially steals the Silver Surfer's power. So before he starts surfing, before he point breaks it. So is Dr. Doom Patrick Swayze, and the Silver Surfer is Johnny Utah?
Special Agent Johnny Utah?
Special Agent Johnny Utah? Who can't shoot his friend in the back? So again, $2. I'm sorry, I shouldn't belabor the point. This is a beat up copy of Defenders number 2, but even in its beat up condition, it's still worth $2.
That's never mind. Go ahead.
Daredevil $1.99. First there was Storm, then Earthquake. Who knows the hell that means? $2. Daredevil $2.35. Klaus Janson. Daredevil fights Mr. Hyde. And then Daredevil $2.37. Daredevil fights Claw. That's a fun little Daredevil. He fights a bunch of characters he probably shouldn't be fighting. Ooh, just in time for holiday season. Charlton Comics, Ghostly Tales. Their vain attempt at doing EC Comics. So this is Ghostly Tales 165. And then we have Ghost Manor. Visit it if you dare. Ha ha ha. Another new story, The Android Affair, and a classic chiller by Steve Ditko. All right, cool. $2. You get a Steve Ditko little horror story from Charlton.
Cool. Can I get the ghostly tale?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Yeah. Oh, and we have, in case anyone wants another copy of the same one that just got, there it is, $2. Speaking of Steve Ditko, look.
The Ghost Manor.
Yeah, Ghost Manor. There you go. And then we got The Creeper. Beware the Creeper, number 3. Again, let me just make sure. Is this Steve Ditko? Or is it just the... Yeah, dude, Steve Ditko. There you go. Also, the writer is... No. Sergius O'Shaughnessy? What the?
That's
Who is that? Is that the inker? Anyway.
That's like somebody's pseudonym.
It's a pseudonym. It has to be, right? It's like Krusty Bunkers all over again.
I just can't think of who it is.
Yeah. Zanin would know.
Yeah. Zanin!
Zanin! Anyway, Beware the Creeper, number 3, Steve Ditko, $2. Oh, yeah. Hells yeah. Oh, this is a fun one. Now, we've had this in a better condition before because this is definitely Barry Smith does the art for Kazar, and no, it's George Tuska who does the Doctor Doom. But still, Kazar and Doctor Doom, Astonishing Tales, number 5, only $2. Oh, okay. Now, I'm sorry, this is a really beat-up copy because, let me be honest with you, this is like a $10, $12, $15 book in the condition it's in right now. Denny O'Neil. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Zanin.
Thank you, Zanin. So this is Avengers 96, but I'm sorry, this is a really beat-up copy. So I felt, man, let's give people the chance, $2. And then we have Tower of Shadows, number 3. Let's see who does Len Wein. Oh, Gene Colan. Okay, so it's Gene Colan art for the first story, George Tuska for the second story, and then Barry Smith. And then a young Barry Smith for the third story. Okay, so Tower of Shadows, not bad. Only $2, people. And then speaking of Barry Smith, we get a pretty beat up copy, but it's okay. It's only $2 of Conan the Barbarian, number 20, The Black Hound of Vengeance. And then another $2 Conan book. This is Conan number 10. Again, we're selling it for $2. So it's a complete book and everything, but it's beat up. But still, man, you get some Barry Windsor Smith Conan. I think you even get a backup of the Black Knight. Yeah, the original Black Knight is in this backup issue. Only $2. Pretty nice. All right, let's grab another chunk here. Let's see what we got. What do we got? All right. Boom. We have some more Daredevil 192, Klaus Janson. All right. We got Daredevil 222 with the Black Widow. All right. And then we get Daredevil 223. I'm just curious because that's a John Byrne cover. Oh, Dave Mazzucchelli. What a great artist. Dave Mazzucchelli, that's a John Byrne cover, and Dave Mazzucchelli does the interior art. And if you're not familiar with that artist, please get familiar because he's awesome. Here we have a Sword of the Atom, the special written by Jan Strand, but more importantly, illustrated by our boy Gil Kane. Oh, we got some more Marvel Triple Actions. This is starring the Avengers as well, where they fight. I don't know. It's like one of the Olympus gods or something like that. Anyway, it's Marvel Triple Action 42. It's only $2. Let me know if you need me to find. Are there any?
Can I get 192? Daredevil 192.
Yeah, that's that one right there.
You got a Defenders up there?
Yes, Defenders number 2.
Yeah,
there it is.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks.
And now we have Marvel Team Up 133, Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. Now that's obviously a John Byrne cover. Oh, no, it's an Al Milgrom illustrated, but John Byrne does the inks. And it's the interior is Sal Buscema. But still, Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, Marvel Team Up 133.
You have Daredevil 199 up there?
Daredevil 199, yes.
That one too?
Yes, hold on. I apologize. Yep, there it is. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being very specific because these...
Yeah, as specific as you can, guys.
As you can, yeah. So here we are, Spider-Woman number 15. Now let's check out. This is when she's fighting with the Shroud. Oh, this is a Carmen Infantino. This is still him doing the interiors for this issue. Nice, fun times, man. Oh man, look at that. We're like fighting some like demonic like sort of Spider-Man was cool, man. I really love that original costume. They're fighting a death cult. Oh, probably a little culturally insensitive, but hey, whatever. So Spider-Woman number 15. And now we have Adventure Comics number 467, starring Plastic Man and Starman? Which Starman is that? Joe Staton, Bob Smith. Okay, cool. All right. Who does Starman? Starman. Oh, Steve Ditko. All right, Steve Ditko, penciler and designer. There you go. So Steve Ditko does the backup Starman feature. Also, who remembers these Star Wars advertisement catalog? That stuff was so cool. All right, next up we got Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, where he goes out to LA and he ends up hanging out with the champions that just got disbanded. The only champion left is Iceman and Angel. Sort of like a fake Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends. Yeah, cool. Spectacular Spider-Man number 18, Cold Rage, Swift Doom.
You got a Spider-Woman 15?
Yes, I got a Spider-Woman 15. You better believe it. There you go. Next up, we have a little sort of one-shot that sort of came after the Age of Apocalypse storyline. This was called Tales from the Age of Apocalypse, co-starring Factor X, written by, I believe, Steve Moore, Brian Vaughan, and illustrated by Steve Epting. So a couple, Brian Vaughan and Steve Epting, early in their careers. Pretty cool. $2. All right. Next up, let's grab a couple more. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, my God. Speaking of Barry Windsor Smith, this is like peak Barry Windsor Smith. This is New Mutants number 46. Look at that cover. That cover alone is worth $2. And then we get Iron Man 166, Over the Edge. Too much drinking, too much Japanese whiskey, too much hanging out till 3 in the morning. But we're not billionaires like this, like Tony Stark. Anyway, Iron Man 166, only $2. Ooh, little Halloween flavor here. Marvel Spotlight number 17, the Son of Satan. He fights that loser. What's his name? Spyros, not to be confused with the little purple dragon. What do we? Okay, you got it. All right. All right. This might be the only one we have. Gary, if you're watching, Master of Kung Fu number 46, where he fights Sumo. Yeah. Look, Sumo really likes to yell his name too. Wait, let's make sure. This is definitely Paul Galassi, right? Oh man, look at that, dude. Look at that panel. Paul Galassi, man, underappreciated outside this industry. Doug Munch. Yep, Doug Munch and Paul Galassi. Shang-Chi.
Can I get the Shang-Chi?
Yes, absolutely. Fighting Sumo. All right, next up, we get the Throne and the Fury. Thor, 249. He hits a lot of people with his hammer. All right. And then we get Thor, 255. The quest doth begin. This is a funny one. Okay, so in the early Journey into Mystery comic books, I don't know if it was his first issue or second or third, but it's literally one of the first 3 or 4 issues. Thor fights these stone men from Saturn. Well, they don't show up again until a decade or so later in Thor 255, the reintroduction of the stone men from Saturn.
That 249?
No,
249.
249. There you go.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. That's 255. All right. Next up, we have X Factor 25. Okay, so this is post the introduction of Archangel. Walt Simonson, Louise Simonson are doing the book, and this is Apocalypse just messing them up. Now we get Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and the Impossible Man. This is issue number 60. Let's take a look. I'm just curious who's Mark Grunwald, Ralph Macchio, and this is young George Perez and Gene Day.
Nice.
Man, nice is right. All right.
Can I get the X Factor 25?
Yep.
And it's after 8, whenever you want.
Oh, it's after 8?
I mean, it's up to you.
Well, yeah, how about this? Are there people actually watching? Let's just finish up with this little pile I have here, which is mostly Marvel 2-in-1. All right, so real quick, let's just finish this up, and then we'll start to wrap it up. This is Marvel 2-in-1, number 59, The Thing and the Human Torch, Towering Infernos. So this probably came out soon after the Towering Inferno movie. Chick Stone did the art. Marv Wolfman and Ralph Macchio. Chick Stone, I'm not as familiar with him.
He like inked Kirby a lot.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Probably better than Vince Coletta did. Marvel 2-in-1, number 58, The Thing and Marvel's latest, greatest superstar, Aquarian. And just so we're clear, that latest and greatest superstar didn't last too long. Because tell me the last time you saw Aquarian in anything. Next up is, okay, Marshall, I wish you were still watching because we sold that first appearance last week. But here you go, Marvel 2-in-1, Thing and Wondar. This is all part of that Project Pegasus story that was going on at the time in Marvel 2-in-1, where you get Marvel Boy, later to become Quasar, and Black Goliath was still running around, and you got Wondar doing his thing. We actually have 2 copies of that Marvel 2-in-1. And then we have Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Daredevil. Let's see, issue number 38, Doomwatch. Let's see who does this one. Roger Slifer is the writer. Ron Wilson and Jim Mooney do the art. All right, cool. Does Doom show up? Oh, whatever. I don't know. Next up, this is a great one. Marvel Triple Action with the Avengers fighting Kang. Now let's check which originally presented in Avengers number 17 by Stan Lee and Don Heck. Inked by John Romita Sr. And then next up, we have Marvel Triple Action number 14. That is, again, the Captain America, Hawkeye, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch. Let's see, Stan Lee, Don Heck. What was this originally? Which issue of... Wallace Wood inked Don Heck. All right, Wally Wood. Love it. Yeah.
Can I get that Triple Action with Kang?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I put that on Instagram. That's such a great cover.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. All right, I guess. So it is after 8. So we're kind of...
It's about 5 after.
That was about 5 after, okay. All right, cool beans.
Thank you, gentlemen. You'll all...
I'm exhausted, so let me just take a moment here as we say goodbye.
You'll all get your books at some point.
Anything, as always, anything that didn't sell tonight, if you kind of later, or if anyone's watching this after the fact, anything, again, like I said, that wasn't claimed, please hit us up on our email at fjccshow@gmail.com with any questions or inquiries. Also, you can always reach me on the Instagram page at the FJC Paradox. We're also open Tuesday to Sunday here in beautiful Philadelphia. Did the Eagles lose? Let's think. What else? Don't forget, tomorrow on Facebook, the Comic Book Shopping Network, Al and Mike will be doing 2 shows. One of them is
12 to 1 and 4 to 6.
And then
on Tuesday from 10 to 12. If I see Mr. Skinner, any books you're looking for, anybody can email. The email's
the FJCC show
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
With anything you guys are looking for, that's no problem.
Cool. Yeah, we'll help you guys out in any way we can.
The Eagles didn't fare so well.
Oh, God damn it.
But Zanin said it. Draft pick.
Yeah, draft pick. And man, that Miami pick is looking nice. Man, that might be the best trade Harry Roseman ever did, man. That might be a top 3 pick, people. Miami Dolphins pick is nice. All right, I guess it's time to wrap it up. Thank you, Kyle and Jerry, for helping us out on the production end. Thank you, everybody who's hanging out with us all night. Thank you, everybody who purchased and claimed anything tonight. We always greatly appreciate it. Again, as much as we do it for a shop, we do it for you. This is a blast. It's a fun time. But I'm not going to belabor the point too much. We'll be back here next week, Sunday. Halloween, yeah. Don't expect anything from us, that's for sure. But if you want to check out our local show, that'll be on facebook.com/FatJacksComicCrypt. We do that from 4:30 to about 5:45-ish. And then we'll be back here on The Experience from 6 to 8. Again, I have no idea what we're going to have. We'll find out together, won't we? Or pay attention to the Instagram page. If anything really awesome or super key or what have you, it's going to be first revealed probably there. With that said, thank you, everybody. It's been an absolute blast. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully we'll see you all next week. Peace.